Hello, my name is John Olsheimer, and I'm a credit expert who contributes to creditcardinsider.com. And today's question is this: will my credit card issuer lower my monthly bill or payment if I'm having trouble paying? Excellent question. This is a very common question for people who have run into difficult times. They're either unemployed, underemployed, yet they still have credit card debt that they're trying to deal with, and so they actually are proactively contacting the credit card issuer and asking them, hey, look, can you work with me? Can you cut me some slack on the payment? I'm having a hard time paying. So the answer to the question is maybe, maybe not. Some credit card issuers have internal programs referred to as debt management programs where they will actually work with debtors who are in distress, meaning that they're having a hard time making their minimum payments, to do things like lower the minimum payment, waive fees, lower the interest rate so that the debtor can continue to make the payments on time. Having said that, you should also consider the fact or the possibility that the credit card issuer is going to take some sort of adverse action against you. When you call a creditor and tell them, look, I'm having a hard time paying, the first thing in their mind is mitigation of risk. And they're going to go into panic mode. And the first thing they're going to try to determine is, look, how risky is this guy? Just how bad of a scenario is this? And do we need to start taking drastic actions like closing his account, suspending his credit limit, or lowering the credit limit? These are all ways that credit card issuers essentially lower their risk of doing business with you if you find yourself in some sort of difficult financial times. Having said that, they are going to do better financially by working with you and actually setting up a program to help you continue to pay them, because otherwise you may not pay them anything or pay them in a way that they're simply not happy with. And that's not something that it's going to be good for their bottom line. It's not going to be good for you. It's just a bad scenario all around. So sometimes a lender will work with you. Sometimes they will not work with you. But I would also warn you that the minute you call them and start telling them these things, so if you call them and tell them you're now unemployed, your hours have been reduced at work, these are the types of things that are going to lead to them taking some sort of adverse action against you. I would also make another suggestion if you are having a hard time paying your credit card bills, especially if you're having a hard time paying a lot of your credit card bills. You should also consider the option of going to the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, or the NFCC. They are the ones that have like the local service organizations referred to as CCCS, or Consumer Credit Counseling Service. You can find their website at nfcc.org, and you can find actually a local counselor who services your geographic area. They're set up as franchises, so they're actually all over the country. What they will do is they will actually work with your credit card issuers to have your payments lowered, your fees waived, and your interest rates reduced. And you will make a payment to the debt counselor. Now, this is not debt settlement. This is debt counseling. So you will make a payment to the credit counselor, and then they will act as your trustee, and then they will make payments to all of your credit card issuers in a way that is satisfactory to the issuer. The pro of doing this is that you're not actually dealing with the credit card issuer directly, so you're not having to tell them all of your secrets and all of the issues with you losing your job. You're actually working with a counselor who is actually working on your behalf and is your advocate rather than the bank's advocate. Second is if you're able to complete the plan, which again is referred to as a debt management plan or debt management program, it's going to take a while. It's usually a 3 to 5 year process. If it was as easy to get out of credit card debt as it is to get into credit card debt, then we'd all be in $100,000 of credit card debt. But it's a long process to get out of it. However, if you're able to pay through it completely, month after month, religiously, then you're actually going to exit the plan with no credit card debt and absolutely fantastic credit scores, because credit card issuers will not report you delinquent to the credit bureaus as long as you're continuing to make your payments through the plan. That's one of the deals that they've cut, which is, yes, if you'll work with us, we'll work with you. So I would absolutely consider those options. Either of the options, calling the creditor, calling a debt counselor, is absolutely better than doing nothing and sticking your head in the sand, trying to settle the account through a settlement company. Bad idea. Or filing bankruptcy, which is essentially going to destroy your credit for the next decade. If you have any other questions pertaining to credit or other financial topics, then please submit them to creditcardinsider.com or in the comments section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day.